Spirit Walk imagery board game was the beginning, but it's beyond that. It's an overall playful journey, which includes so many aspects, but there are aspects of who I am, you know. So the flute brought me to this, which again, the flute being a part of my life was something that came later in life, but I accepted it.
I remember when you picked that flute up and you just haven't put it down since.
I haven't, because it was, you know, just like Spirit Walk is, you know, the main thing is about remembering who you are, you know, and in order to remember who you are, you've got to explore and accept all the parts of who you are. You know, there's nothing wrong with some people who they know what they want, and that's the only thing that they focus on. Whereas for me, I knew that there was a lot of parts of me that I want to embrace. And what I've learned is that the more that I love myself in all her different perspectives and aspects, the more I can love and step into my life that way. You know, and so what? Spirit Walk, I mean, who knew? I mean,
yeah. And you know what? I feel so fortunate to have been on this journey with you throughout the whole process. And you know, how did you translate this in how you help leaders learn who they are and rebuild that foundation? And there really is a spiritual type of walk that we all go through as we become and sustain ourselves as leaders. How are you translating that to other people?
Well, you know, when I was doing a lot of training, and I guess this is still another aspect, another form of it, I dealt with leaders, but what I said to them was that you lead from where you are. Wherever you are in life, that's where you lead from. No one has to tell you that you're a leader. You just lead from where you are, whatever it is, whether it's in your home life, you're at school, you're in a job, whatever it is. If something happens, you're going to lead from wherever you are. Like if I need to do this, okay, I'll do this part. You know, it's just about stepping up when it's necessary. And so, and that goes throughout all aspects of your life. I mean, when I was in the DC, Maryland area, some of my biggest clients were National Institutes of Health. So when people say that thing about it's not you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. Well, guess what? I was training rocket scientists about these concepts of leading where you are, you know, and so it's about this experiential way. I've always done things where you had to engage. I spoke, but it was like, I got to get you involved. You know, whoever's in front of me, their energy has a lot to do with how they experience and how they remember what you say to them, you know. So engaging the mindset. And so this, again, Spirit Walk is a way where I'm engaging you, but in this playfulness. I say playfulness is the new wellness. We've got to play. We got to know that it's okay to play, but play with purpose, you know. It's important for us to be able to be aware of what that is and how it plays out in our life. I mean, you know, both of you that are here with me, like, you know, Joan knows me as a lot of different things before I came to music, you know, and many of you who are out there that will watch this, you're going to see a chapter in my life. You don't know the other chapters, but you know that, wow, she sounds like she's lived. And that's true. I've lived a lot of different parts of who I am so that I can be present in the now and not get stuck on the past like that's all you did. Well, guess what? Keep stepping and you might see something and do something new.
Well, you know what? And I see Joan nodding her head. And Joan, did you want to jump into the conversation? You can take yourself off mute there.
Well,
she's still on mute.
I watched Blanche in amazement, because, you know, I'm gonna be 75 in December. Someone told me I needed to retire. No, I'm gonna build the Music Woman Archive if it's the last thing I do. And we have acres here. We have some builders that we're connecting with. So Blanche will be here performing. I don't know if it's going to be a year, 2 years, but it's going to happen.
There you go. That's a really strong mantra right there. It's going to happen. You know, going, that progress, that lives, it's living, it's growing, and it's going to happen. So that's definitive. I mean, so you can see how, you know, your mindset incorporating with the steps you take, you know, because action, you know, words without action, please. That's
they don't have any,
that's play, that's called play.
Yeah. Now, I mean, but what I'm hearing you say, and I mean, we have not talked about anything that is traditional. I mean, and some people might say, well, okay, this is non-traditional, but this seems to me
it's both.
It's part of the flavor of what it takes to be that sustainable leader. You know, success is just something that comes with it, but to be sustainable, to be comfortable in your skin, I see a calmness that is with you at this point, and it is great to see, because you know that's something that seems to be missing a lot with a lot of leaders, and I coach a lot of people just like you do. And there's a calmness that's missing. And it just sounds like through this whole spirit walk, and I'll have to tell you, I was fortunate to be able to experience that spirit walk journey. And folks, I'll have to tell you, it's oh my gosh. And I think Joan raised her hand and she's been through it as well. It is something that you talk about brain explosions and aha moments, and just the realization of who you are, and being forced, you know, in some instances to own it.
Yeah.
And I was totally not expecting it. I mean, I felt my face wet, and I'm like, what is going on?
She was boo-hooing, y'all. She was boo-hooing.
That's the technical term, but it is just a phenomenal experience that you take people on, and I can see leaders walking through this
absolutely
and truly understanding and whether we always talk about being grounded, and I think what you do is so amazing, because it helps people get reacquainted with that grounding.
Yeah, it's important for you to understand that who you are in each moment is going to be different. And I talk about, I have a workshop called Being and Becoming. And the reason that is titled that way is because it's being who you are as you're becoming all that you're meant to become. You know, it's not like, okay, I'm done. No, it's about being who you are and becoming what you're meant to be. It's real simple. And it's a mindset for leaders who are considering themselves leaders and so forth. I mean, I have a master's in leadership. I mean, so, and that's a real thing. So my approach to life has always been, you know, lead from where I am. All right. And I don't have control over anybody else except for me. You know, if you're not able to lead yourself, you need to get out the way, and don't be saying you're going to try to lead somebody else, because that is not going to work. That's too much ego involved. See, that's the thing. Taking ego out of the equation is freeing for you. If you know that, you know what, I don't know everything. But I'm going to learn what I need to learn. I'm going to do what I need to do. And then I'm going to collaborate and support those who are on my path. It's not rocket science, but sometimes we make it more difficult. But if you just sort of relax into, it's almost like in a chair, just kind of relax into who you are.
Sit back and chill.
And know that I don't have to compete. See, when you compete, that is when you lose. Okay, because especially if you're comparing yourself to someone else, trust me, there is nobody else on this planet who is Blanche Williams. It's not there.
Yeah.
She is 6'3". Okay. She's got a smile that can hurt you. Okay. If you're trying to live in darkness, it's not going to work, because I know that I'm a light, you know, and it's and when I play my flute, that's my ambassador to everything and anyone. And I've tested that when I went to Africa, because I didn't speak the language. Many of them, yes, they speak English, but in many of the tribes, the smaller communities, they don't speak anything.
Yeah.
And there was a couple things that I had: gestures, and I had my flute.
You had your music.
I had the music, and there was times when I just said, Spirit, you know, help me, you know, and I would pull that flute out. I just started playing, and it just changed the entire environment.
Yeah. Well, I see that someone wrote in the chat, you know, it is universal language, and it is.
It is.
But I also heard you say something about, you know, that it can be exhausting if you don't have that calm, or you don't understand your light. And, you know, a lot of people don't believe in owning that. They'll give it up. And, you know, I see that a lot with women, especially women who are looking to strive to be leaders. And
well, I see a lot of women, I have to say, I see a lot of women that don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
there are some women that just need a little bit of support, a little bit of like, a little, you know, and then there's some that, you know, we've all been there. I've been there where I just been a hot mess. This is like, really, Blanche? But I'll talk to myself like, really, is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing right now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, for a minute, can I just do it for a minute? But then I have people around me who are like, you know, who are supportive. But I didn't always have that. I didn't always have women like the women that you see on this call. I didn't always have that, but I knew that at some point I would. I'm patient with myself too. I mean, you got to be patient, and like you know, it's a playful journey. Life is a playful journey if you like to play. Okay. If you know that there is a focus to play. I mean, all the little games that we play, Jenga and whatever other kind of Monopoly, etc., there is a goal. There's still a focus to your play. Kickball, whatever, you know, there is still a focus. And so that's why I say that playfulness is the new wellness, but it's also the new way of looking at how do I lead? Number one, I need to know who I am. I need to know how I lead. How do I share who I am in a way that allows other people to say, you know what? I might have to roll with her for a minute.
Yeah, I have to talk to her for half a minute.
Just for a minute. Yeah. But with everything, trust but verify. I mean, if you don't know somebody, take a minute to get to know them.
You know what?
Don't listen to just what they say. Watch what they do.
Watch what they do.
And who they do it with.
You said something that really resonated with me, and I wrote it down, and you said patience with yourself on this playful journey. And girl, you know, I just think that you know, we're both leaders, and we can both stop traffic with our smiles, you know, but you know, that patience. Because people now are so committed to getting to that level. I want to get there. I got to be there. I got to be in the know. I got to be in that little group. I got.
Yeah, but just be in the moment for right now. How about be where you are, learn what you need to learn, and let tomorrow take care of itself. It's gonna get there. I'm not saying now, I'm a Virgo. I was September 1st, and it's part of my birthday. So thank you, Gail, for helping me celebrate this time. What I call as a rebirth. You know, but we have to be patient with wherever we are. It's fine to be wherever you are, but just know that what lesson do I need to learn while I'm here?
Exactly.
Because if I focus on that, I ain't got to repeat it.
You know what?
I'm not trying to repeat it.
Right. And you know what? That's the key. People are not focusing as much on those lessons. Or what did we were Steve and I were doing a taping, and we were talking about life lessons this morning. And a lot of times those lessons, as you go along, they get harder and harder and harder. Sure. But the outcome desired and focused on is the same. And it's, are you paying attention?
Okay. And as they get harder, do you have the tools in your toolbox to work it out? Exactly. If I got the tools, fine. I got to build a bigger house. Okay. That just means it might take a little bit longer. Right. I might need some different, resources, but I got the tools in my toolbox to get it done. Right. Big, the size of it, that's details. I'm not worried about that. Exactly. Okay, but am I the craftsman? Am I the designer? Am I the architect? Am I the builder that can get it done? Yes, and guess what? And if I'm not, Gail, I need a little help. I got this contract, and I know your skills. I'd like to get the contract, but I know I can't do everything. Exactly. Okay, so can I hook you into this with X, Y, and Z? I mean, collaborations for me, that's how I get things done. Yeah. I mean, it just is. I got a new project now, and it's a part of Spirit Walk that is called Acoustic Sound Medicine Collective. Mm-hmm. I have been envisioning doing sound healing in a planetarium where you are sitting back, looking up in the stars, and you're hearing these incredible sounds. And so I had that in my spirit for months, and I said, "Okay, Spirit, I know you're gonna work it through. Because see, if I have a vision, I already know I've already manifested it. You've already manifested it. Yes. Absolutely. So I've just got to wait and find the people that are supposed to help me bring it to life in this dimension, so to speak. And I'm not trying to sound all a certain way, but I mean, if you think about something, if you've thought about it, then you can make it come to life if you want to. So October 27th, hey, it's done. I've created a great collaborative with a company called BU Disco, and they do some amazing things, Carolina and Kev. And between all of us, we got everything we need. And so I'm just saying that to say that whatever you want to do, you can do it. Yes. It might take some time. It might take some patience. It might take some creativity. It might take some humility. It might take a lot of things that you need to make sure that you have, but you can get it done. Yeah. I have a 23-year-old who is, I'm so proud of him. And every time he said he wanted to do something, I'd ask one question. How bad do you want it? Yeah. 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 That's for anything that anybody says to me. How bad do you want it? Because that determines what you do, when you do it, how often you do it, how well you do it, how much you will overcome to get it done. Yeah, how large it is when it comes. You mentioned also, as you manifest it, and I think that's what a lot of successful leaders, sustainable leaders do. Mm-hmm. And, you have those conversations with them. It's like, how did you get here? How did you do? And they manifested it. And I'm also hearing you talk about that village and how that village is kind of a moving target, not a target, but a process of acquisition, like a snowball. As it rolls down the hill, you start picking up people, things, events. Yeah. And at the bottom of the hill, when it explodes, they're there for you. It's there. And the larger it is, the more people, things, and events are picked up. So, I just love, tell me, while we have a few more minutes, more about this playful spirit walk journey. What is it? What does it look like? What? What? So when people ask me that question, I basically say the fun part of it is that it's a game where all your choices are right. Mm-hmm. And everybody wins. That in itself is a paradigm shift. Mm-hmm. All your choices are right. For me, that's in life. All your choices are right. The consequences are different, but all your choices are right. So in this game, that's the deal. All your choices are right and everybody wins. Mm-hmm. It's an experience where your intuitive wisdom is the most important part of this. It's a journey where trusting your truth, you have to commit to trusting your truth, whatever that is, and without question. Remembering your authentic you, that's what it's, that overall is that remembering who you are, not who you're supposed to be, who your mama said you were, who he said you weren't. It doesn't matter. Who are you? Okay. Yes. And just being playful and having fun. It's a journey where you go through several different layers, and I'll ask you questions like, which of these images resonate most with you? That's as deep as it gets. Yeah. Which image resonates most with you? And you'll do a series of things where I'll simply ask you to, put your hand, like, for example, we have a sacred, a little basket of sacred objects. And I'll ask you to put your hands in there and just feel, and make the connection between feeling and how you feel. Whatever image, or I should say, object, you're going to pull that out. You're going to choose 5 of those without looking at them. And you're going to see how you chose something that either was familiar to you, that had some emotion, or that somewhere in your spirit was like, yeah, I want that. So you pull that out. There are feathers. There are 4 feathers that, because 4 people normally play the game at a time. And it's a 5 foot by 5 foot. It's set outside. It's for you to sit down. You'll sit on pillows. Yes. And it is for you to connect with the earth. That's the grounded piece. Mother Earth is always there to support us. And if we
acknowledge her.
Even if you don't acknowledge her.
Even if you acknowledge her. Yes, yes, yes.
Even if you don't, that's the great thing.
And I love this. I love this conversation because, there are so many traditionalists out there who believe that, you've got to go through this rigid process in order to be able to sit at the highest level of business and industry.
And I was one of those.
Yeah. And I sat there for a long time as well, and became a robot, and it became very robotic for me. And I released that when I became an entrepreneur. Yeah. But it didn't change the fact that I could still be a leader in business and industry.
Correct.
But be who I truly was.
Correct.
And I tell you, I feel like I've probably been more effective in this space, in this skin, because I've met folks like yourself and others. I see Femi there. I've known Femi for years.
Femi's good people. She's good people.
They're quiet, but I've known Femi for years, and she is a quiet leader in this community as well. And you don't have to be a traditionalist to be an effective leader. And I think that's what I came out of all of our conversations. Our conversations are, do you have a minute? And 2 hours later, we're wrapping up the conversation.
Right. Well, I mean, the good thing about our conversations and the good thing about what you're saying is that, tradition and untraditional, they all fit together because there's still, the word tradition is still in there. And so just know that, I've been on every aspect of tradition, non-traditional, nonprofit, profit, governmental, NGO. I mean, I have had a very robust experience up to this point. And so if you want to learn about, okay, who is she as a businesswoman, you can go to my LinkedIn and tell you everything I've done, who I've done it with, how I've done it, all my clients and this, that, and the other. And I still have those clients, I still have, major clients that are more in the corporate nonprofit kind of area. But work hard and play as often as possible. That's the mantra. You can do both. It's not that you got to have all, and I think that that's just a fallacy. It's just the use of the verbiage, and as a writer, words are very important, and where you place them, is very important. And so when people talk about it's a game, well, it's okay, a game. Well, a game is supposed to be playful, and there's studies and research around playfulness. And so, and that research for me is like just reinforcing, oh, yeah, this is okay. So if you look at the top of my screen, you will see the Spirit Walk board. That is, it's designed after the Metatron's Cube, which again, Metatron's Cube, for some people, they know what it is, but it's a sacred geometry. We live in a world of sacred geometries. Our universe, you don't have to understand everything about it, but know that it interacts with you regardless of if you know about it or not, so yes. Music is always in our environment. The frequencies and different things that you don't see them, but you feel them. If you close your eyes, you'll feel the vibration of something Absolutely. That's close to you. So it's so the music brought me here, and the music is taking me to places that I could only dream of. Not being a musical person, I only came to the flute, guess it'll be 7 years ago. Yeah. But when it's time for you to do what you're supposed to do.
You were, but I think it had to be awakened.
It was, because I had a medical issue, and I had facial paralysis. I had they had to do nasal frontal lobe surgery, and as I was recovering, I heard a voice, and it said, "Go get a flute." And I was like, I don't think so, and I hope that I'm not crazy right about now. Okay, so I kind of didn't do it. I was like, and then the voice came again, and I was like, all right, because I don't want to keep hearing all this craziness. So I went to Craigslist and I got a flute. And then I said, I guess you're gonna find me a teacher. Okay, that was the next one. It was like, yep, they did. And it just kept happening, all of these different things. It's like every time I said, but I had to say yes. I said yes. I mean, why wouldn't I? So now I can read music. I've composed. I've got a musical friend right now that her name is Libra Sine, that she asked if she could record my song on her next album. Wow. The song is called Love Set Free. I said, absolutely. For the last 5 years, I did something called Jazz on J Street, which was a professional jazz jam session in Lake Worth.
It was phenomenal.
So many turns.
Phenomenal.
So like I'm saying, it's like you can do whatever it is. It doesn't take away from who I am. I got an arm, I got legs, I got ears, and they kind of do their own thing, right? So same thing. You as long as my father just said, okay, whatever you do, be your best at it. That was it. That was it. So I do my best at everything I do. I'm a stickler. I mean, I don't like raggedy. If it's gonna get done, it's gonna be done right. So that's traditional. The untraditional is the playfulness. I ride a motorcycle. That's not traditional. I do a lot of things that are different because I'm different and I like to have fun.
Yeah. And I think it's more of an alternative to tradition as opposed to being non-traditional. And
there you go.
There are alternatives too.
Just be you. Just be you.
Exactly. So
just be you.
As we begin to wrap up our chat and conversations, what 2 to 3 tidbits can you share with our listeners about being able to truly follow your heart to success? I mean, we've sat here in our conversation and had that insight shared, that playful journey. And folks, that's the key. So what can you share with our listeners as we start to wrap up our session here today with you?
Well, I'm going to start by saying, listen to your heart. There are things that you feel that you need to acknowledge that, yeah, I feel that, you know, and that fire in your belly sometimes, that's a beautiful part of who you are. Yeah. And you should listen to it. That intuitive wisdom, listen to it. Surround yourself with people who allow you to be who you are. You don't necessarily have to support or co-sign, but just that they support who you are. They love you, you know, and they love who you're becoming. Trust your truth, whatever that is, you know, and don't hurt nobody. I mean, you know, it's not real deep, you know, it's just, remember your authentic you and do everything that you can to support who that is.
You know, love that, your authentic you.
Yeah. And it takes time to get to know who she is or he is.
Yes. And as you build upon your success or your levels of success, I think that it's just really important to keep that in mind. That authentic you doesn't go away. And we've got to keep him or her.
It evolves.
Yeah. Let it evolve.
Yes.
And go with that flow of the direction that it takes. It may not take you in the direction that you want to go.
Okay. And if you want to have some fun, then you need to go to spiritwalkgame.com and check it out. Come see me. I'm at Cocoa Market, Delray, every first Sunday of the month. And it'll be a lot of fun. It's a wellness market. I mean, like I said, playfulness is the new wellness, and wellness never felt so good because it's so much fun. I mean, I love the fact that, you know, you can have 4 leaders sitting on pillows talking about who they are. I mean, it's a different way of getting to know yourself and getting to know other people. I've had date nights that husband and wives, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or girlfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend and boyfriend, they're just like, wow, I didn't know. They just, because they've never had these kinds of conversations. And you know, with my background in radio, for me, conversation is the most powerful tool we have.
Absolutely. You know, absolutely.
Well, you know what? Who we are.
I put on the screen your contact information, and I'm hoping that people will.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Will share their thoughts and opportunities to reach out to Blanche and move the needle. And I've got mine as well at CMA Enterprise, and we're always glad to talk out loud with you. And Blanche, I just want to say it has truly been an honor talking with you again, this time on camera.
I know.
Just understanding and knowing that there is so much knowledge that you bring. There is so much wisdom, so much insight, the glamour that you give us.
And I'm a fool. I'm just a fool. I'm a crazy woman. I love having fun. I know a lot of stuff, yes, but she makes it sound so like you're this and that. Girl, please. Look, all of us have this genius inside of us. You all have it. So just claim it and live it, and don't compare it to anybody else. You don't have to be better than anybody. Take ego out of the equation.
Do you?
So when you say me, the E, take the ego out of the me. All right?
Yeah.
And just
I love it.
Just be.
I love it.
Well, I love you, girl. Thank
you. Thank you. This is my honor, my pleasure. And Femi is blowing kisses at us here.
Thanks, Femi.
Truth and do no harm. Your instinct will set off an alarm if to thyself you are not true. So just go play and get to know you.
That's right, Femi. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That is it. See, you're a good listener. I love it.
Well, folks, I want to thank you once again for joining me, Gail Birks of CMA Enterprise Incorporated, and my very special guest, Blanche Williams, with Spirit Walk, a playful journey. My friend, my business colleague, my accountability buddy. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. And we'll see you next month when we'll bring another guest and have an enlightening conversation. So thank you all for joining us. It will always be the second Thursday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look for us on social media.
Yes. Much love. Ashe.
Okay. You can stop recording.